I'm Laura Scott, owner of Weber's Jewelry Making Tools, and thank you for joining us for this JTV workshop in 2024. I am so excited to be here with you online while you take your classes. I'm going to be on my computer, being able to answer any questions you may have. And I just love that I'm missing you all in person, but I love that we can join this way this year, and it just makes me so excited to be here. I've been making jewelry for close to 20 years now. I cannot believe I can say that, but close to 20 years. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite things. My mom and I got started in 2006 making the jewelry, and that's how we came up with our tools, Weber's. We found we did not like where the pliers hit us in the hand, and so we made the longer handles. And would you believe, today we are gonna make these cute little earrings, okay? And you are only going to need 2 pairs of pliers to make these. Only 2. Can you believe that? 2. So this is gonna be so much fun. I think you'll really enjoy these, and I'll show you some variations on them throughout the tutorial, and those will have a little more pliers, but these right here in front of you, 2 pliers. And I wanna say they're great. These pliers we made with a special grip. It's a hand polish finish, so it's not gonna mar your metal. It's gonna give you a great grip. So let's go over exactly what we need to make these cute little earrings. What you're gonna need is a pair of chain nose or flat nose pliers, and then you'll need, these are the small Weber's triangle pliers. You will need 2 pieces. I am using 20 gauge wire. You're gonna wanna use 20 gauge wire because this is gonna go in your ear. I'm using Parawire, tarnish resistant in the silver color. It is great wire. It does not peel like other wires I've used in the past. I absolutely love this wire. It doesn't hurt my ears. If you're sensitive, you may need to use sterling, but this is a great wire to use for your jewelry making. It's malleable, you can work with it well, but it'll also hold its shape. So you're gonna need 2 around 4-inch pieces of wire. You are going to want, this is great. The format of this show is great, this tutorial, because you can use whatever you have on hand. In these earrings on the stand, I'm gonna take one of these off here for you. I use some little coin beads. I like how the coin beads kind of lay flat. They're little gemstones, so they kind of shine. Whatever bead you choose, it needs to be able to fit on 20 gauge wire. So that's what I used on those. I'm gonna show you some with just things I have on hand here, and you're gonna need a pair of cutters because you are gonna wanna cut your wire. You'll want, these are called flush cutters. You're gonna want they have a concave side jaw and then a flat side. So anytime I say you want a flush cut today, what that means is you're gonna place your wire facing your piece. You want this flat side of your pliers facing your piece. So I'm gonna cut off this end here to give myself a flush cut, and the flat side is facing the piece I'm working with. So I'm just gonna give that a little snip, and there is my flat flush cut. So let's go ahead and get started since we already did our flush cut. This is gonna be so much fun. What we want to do, go ahead and pick out your beads. And I will say it's fun to kind of lay them out. You can put them on a wire if you want. Oh, you know what just hit me? This is the fun thing about designing too. I think I'm gonna mix match them on my earrings. I think I'm gonna do one direction and the other direction. Those just fell that way. I think we'll run with it. That's the great thing about getting to do these classes this way. You're gonna be able to design whatever hits you and strikes you, and I'm sure it's going to be great. I just love the creativity behind the pieces that go in. And as we make things, as you're making them, please put in the comments. I don't know if you're gonna be able to share pictures or what. Put them in the comments because I want to see what you made. That's the funnest part to me. Everybody has a little bit different style and taste. Let that come out today when you're making your jewelry and share it with me because I want to see it. And if there's not space on here, I also have on Facebook, I have Weber's University, and you can just send your pictures in to me there. I would love to see them. Love it. So I'm so glad you're joining me today. Let's get started with this. We're going to place our flush cut. I'm using these small Weber's triangle mandrel pliers, and I'm gonna go around the larger jaw on these. So I'm gonna place my wire halfway against the jaw, into that jaw, halfway in there. I'm gonna push down I'm going to let these pliers do the work for me. If I try to pull this wire around with my hands are gonna get so tired of doing this. And we're just making 2 earrings, but anytime you can save your hands, let's save them, okay? So we're gonna twist with the plier while holding the wire with our other hand, and we're gonna twist all the way around. I'm gonna open up this jaw, come back and around, and I'm just gonna give a push so it gets a shape, the nice triangle shape. I'm gonna slide this off. If this is stuck a little bit, just give it a nice push and it gets those corners and we can slide that off. Now, you're gonna take your chain nose, flat nose, whatever it is, and you wanna grip on the end of that triangle. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this piece up the center, and to do that, it doesn't come right against there, so if you put your plier all the way in the end, it makes that more centered to where it comes up in the center. Okay, so once you have that how you like it, we're gonna slide our beads on. So I'm gonna slide this first one on, and then the second one. Okay, and remember, I'm gonna do mine mixed matched. So before I finish out that earring, this earring, I'm gonna start on the second one. So I'm gonna take that second piece of wire, because I just wanna, that way if you're using different beads, you can kind of play around with your design and see if you like it before we finish out the earring. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my flush cut. That means that wire, the wire I'm gonna work with is facing that flat side of my flush cutters. I'm gonna give it a nice flat cut. Then I'm going to take my triangles, put this wire halfway in. I'm gonna push down. Again, let those pliers do the work for you. It will save your hands so much trouble. Don't bend it around with your hand, bend with the pliers. I'm gonna twist while holding with the other hand. And look at how easy that is, letting those pliers do the work. Open up, and you're just gonna wiggle that under that jaw and come behind your first piece of wire there. Give a push so that we get our nice triangle shape. Slide that off. Now, you're gonna take your chain or your flat, come against that corner so that you get it, see how it's gonna, this ends right towards the middle? Because when we bend that up, that'll put that more in the middle. So we get a nice crease there in the middle. Now, this is where it's fun to play with the design. So I have my 2 wires here. In my first set of earrings, I did the same bead all the way down, but on these, I think I'm going to, like I said, mix match them. I'm gonna put the white one on first this time, and then this turquoise one. Oh, look at this. Yes, see, this will be cute. They'll kind of be mixed matched in my ears, but still be mixed matched matching. I didn't know that's what we were gonna do today, but look at that, where that took us today. How fun. All right, and I cannot wait to see yours. Like, please, please let me see your finished ones. Okay, so what we were gonna do, I don't know if you can see this ear wire here that I'm holding. I'm gonna put it down on this mat, and do you see how it is angled? I love to use my triangle pliers, these mandrel pliers, on ear wires because I get that nice angle in my ear wire and it stays in my ear so much better than the rounds. Like a lot of times when you make ear wires, you use round mandrels to curve that ear wire. Look at that, that looks like the shape of my ear, the earlobe, and this stays in my ear so well. So what I like to do is I have taken my pliers and I'm going to rest the bead. I'm going to rest that large jaw up against the last bead on my plier. So here's the large jaw. I'm gonna bend this wire down around the smaller jaw. That's what's gonna make that, but this is gonna space this out for me if I just rest the larger jaw against that bead. Now I'm going to pull this one around that smaller side. I'm gonna pull back past because it's gonna naturally have some spring to it. So if I pull up past it, I can let go a little and it's gonna have that nice spring, and look at that. I've just made the perfect little ear wire right there. Now let me do it on the second one. Watch how uniform this is gonna be, because since we're resting that against our bead. So here I go. I'm resting the bead against that larger jaw. I'm going to take this wire and pull it around. Now this is one time I'm using my hands, yes, because it's just, I have to do that here. It's a little bit easier, but that's what I'm saying. Save your hands when you can. I'm pulling past so that it'll bounce back a little bit, and look at this. I'm gonna have 2 ear wires that perfectly match. Look at that. Now, this is what I like to do. I like to hold my 2 together as close as I can. If this works for you and you're able to do it, you can grab both of these. This takes a little bit of skill to grab them both, but you can do that to where they're the same length, and you can just come in with cutters and cut them. Or if you need to, let me show you, since that takes a little bit more practice to hold both at once, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come in. Now, these can be any length you want. If you want your ear wire to come longer than your earring, you can. If you want it about the same height as your earring you made, let me show you. So a good way to measure to get both ears the same is to put that triangle, I'm resting it actually on one of the jaws of my flush cutter, like this. And before I push, that's gonna have to come off that jaw. I'm just gonna push and clip that off. I can do the exact same thing with my second one so that I get the same size. I'm gonna let that rest on that jaw. I'm gonna push and clip that off. So now, both of my earrings are the same length. Now what I want to do next is take my flat nose, and I'm just going to come in here and crick this little neck up, because that gives an extra little support in my ear to make sure it doesn't fall out. I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. Now, we just cut wire with a flush cutter, and yes, remember we wanted that flush cut on it, but this might still be a little pokey. This end over here, what I'm pointing to is the ear wire at the end. What you can do is just take a file. If you have a file, a jeweler's file, that's great. Let's go ahead and file it down. If you don't, like, we're just gonna file that, make sure there's no rough edges on it, because we don't want that to poke our ear as we put it in. And especially if you're selling jewelry, these are great little earrings to sell. They're what we call bread and butter sometimes. You can make them pretty easy and sell them. You don't want your customers to have a rough edge. If you do not have a jeweler's file, just get you an acrylic nail file. Those actually work a lot easier than these big files, and you can just file that end on an acrylic nail file, and it'll make a nice smooth edge. So we're gonna go ahead and file this one too. And look at that. 2, very cute. I love the mix match. I love how they're similar but different. That's great. I do want to show you a little variation on this, and this is gonna be fun. So in May, I took my 13-year-old, this design came up after I took my 13-year-old to Hawaii, and we just had a blast. We loved the sea turtles. He asked for a blanket for his birthday from his sister-in-law. Yes, my 13-year-old has a sister-in-law. They have older kids. I have a grandbaby, so cute. But he asked her for a sea turtle. He got to swim with sea turtles in Hawaii. And he asked her for a sea turtle blanket, but for the shell to be a tortilla, and he calls it his sea tortilla blanket. So it's really cute. But just the Hawaiian, like, themes and that we saw over there, and the swirls and the meaning of life through turtles live a long time, they're well respected, and the triangle shapes, the circle shapes, the spirals were big in Hawaii. Like, that just inspires a lot to me. So I want to show you a triangle in one of these earrings with a spiral in the middle. Okay, so I know that you're kind of going, what are you talking about? But let me just show you a little variation you can do on this. Okay, so we're going to get that flush cut on our wire again. We're gonna make that flat cut. This is where we need a few more tools. We're gonna need some round nose pliers to come in here and start a little curve until we meet that wire. Okay, so we have like a little eye pin. And we're not gonna crick the neck, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna grip with our flat nose. We're gonna take that spiral, grip with our flat nose, and we're gonna roll the pliers, not your wire, it'll make it easier. Roll that around. See how I'm starting to roll this around? Until we get two swirls on each side. So I don't know if you can see this. We have 2 swirls on each side now. Now what I'm gonna do is take these triangle pliers now, using that larger side. I'm going to rest that spiral going towards the top of the jaw. In the middle, I'm going to grip, going to pull these around. Till I've come all the way around. Now, I have that spiral is sticking out, and here's my triangle. I can either push that in now, or first, I'll show you how to push that spiral to the middle. First, I'm gonna do the same thing with my pliers, where I grip it on the end and pull this up so that it's coming in the middle. Now I can come in and I'm gonna kind of grip however best feels most comfortable to you, and I'm gonna push that spiral down into the middle of that triangle, just like this. So look, that reminds me so much of Hawaii, of the Hawaiian culture and life. Again, now, what else is big in Hawaii? What stone do most of y'all maybe have? We're working with 20 gauge wire. I know it may be hit or miss on if it fits your wire, but pearls. I love me a good pearl, and there were so many pearls in Hawaii. Like even some of these have a smaller hole. And what will help is some of your pearls may be really close to fitting on your wire. The straighter your wire, the easier it is to get one on there. And you might have to cut the end, because sometimes our ends get a little smashed and it won't go on there. So I'm cutting the end there, and I'm gonna work this down right next to that design. Oh, look at this. This is so Hawaiian. I love this. So this is also, look at how classy that looks too. We have different styles going here. I might wear this more to like out to a country music concert or out and about, just regular every day, but look how classy this one looks. I love this. This is a completely different look, using your same techniques, learning just a little bit of a splash of excitement to it, right? So Hawaiian pearl earrings, I love it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna rest that larger jaw up against that bead like we did before. And we're gonna pull this one around the bottom. You wanna pull it all the way through. Now you see that spring kind of back. So go ahead and touch the triangle there with it so that it springs back and gives you the right amount of space. Look at that. And again, I love these ear wire shapes because it just rests so good on my ear and will not fall out. So let's make the second one. Look at how good that's looking. I love that. Love it. Okay, so let's get our second piece. And again, I'm going a little bit around 4 inches because we're making that spiral too. We still have some space. I'm giving y'all free space with your wire because as you learn, you might go, oh, I forgot to flush cut. I need to snip that off. That's what I love about Parawire though. It's affordable, it's easy to work with. So if you mess up every now and then, it's not gonna break your budget. But you can also, I mean, you can make some good quality jewelry with this. It's a great, great wire to use. So 20 gauge, again, around 4 inches. We are going to start with some round nose pliers and make that first little loop. I wanna tell you, when you are making loops, I'm gonna cut away from that wire for a second and get one of these wires. I wanna show you something. If you grip it past the pliers, see how my wire is sticking out past the pliers? Some of you go, well, how do I get that nice round loop at the end? Because I make them and they turn up like ovals. Let me show you why yours are turning up like ovals. If that wire is sticking out past your jaws and you curl it around to where the wire meets the curve meets the wire, you're gonna get an oval. Let me show you how to fix that. This is an important step that I should have told you the first time. So look, you get to learn something again. Okay, so if you want the nice round circles, that wire needs to be flush over here. You do not want it sticking out past there. That's the key to getting a nice circle, is making sure it's not sticking past those 2 circles. That way, when you roll it around, and you might have to loosen your grip and spin around a little bit, but when you roll that wire around, you're getting that nice little circle. See that? See the difference? I think I already cut off my oval, but let's do this again. We made that flush cut on the end of our 4-inch wire. So now we're ready to make the little loop. We're gonna grip it, and the end of those, get it even with the end of those pliers. We're gonna curl it around till it meets that wire. Nice, nice circle. Okay, now we're gonna grip, lay this flat in our flat nose, and I'm gonna roll with the pliers. I'm not gonna pull around with the wire. I'm gonna roll with the pliers. I'm just anchoring the wire with this hand, and I'm rolling with the pliers until we get 2 rolls on each side. So there we go. We have 2 rolls on each side now. Now we're gonna take our triangle mandrel pliers. We're working with the larger jaw, which is down here. We're gonna rest that in the center it, in that larger jaw. Gonna mash. Roll the pliers, not the wire. This hand is just holding the wire. We're rolling with the pliers. We're gonna open up, come underneath. Now we want to bend our wire up the middle, so I'm gonna grip right there. In the end, I've kind of got a little grip on that spiral too. It's just gonna help me stabilize it a little better. Push that wire up. So now we have the spiral is still sticking up along our wire. We just want to push that in. There we go. And give it a little mash with the pliers. So there's that pretty spiral in the middle of our triangle again. Get you a pearl. Or any bead. I just chose pearls because they just seem very Hawaiian. Okay, again, this one isn't wanting to really go on. So I either need to trim my end or make sure my wire is straight or get another bead. Like, not all the beads are always gonna fit, but that doesn't mean give up. There's sometimes solutions to things. If you really want things to happen, we can make them happen, right? Okay, so I'm going to trim. I think the end of mine has gotten dulled, so I'm gonna trim that off. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. See? It was just the end of that wire there being ornery. I've got that on there now, and I can push it down. All the way down. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it. When are we going back to Hawaii? I've got to go back now. Okay, so then we're gonna hold our pliers. We are resting the larger one against the pearl or whatever bead you choose to put there. And we're gonna come around the smaller jaw. There we go. So now look, one ended up really long and one's really, I don't know if you can see that, one's really long and one's really short. Now I want these to be a little bit longer. I think I'm gonna leave these a little longer, so I'm just gonna trim right there. And this time, I'm gonna hold this one up next to it. So I'm trying as best as I can to make those tips, the tips of those even, and I'm gonna hold on, and I'm gonna rest against the first one, clip, and so I have 2 even ear wires now. Now again, last time we cricked this neck down here of the ear wire. You can either crick it first or you can file it first. Let's file it first this time. It really doesn't make a difference much to me. Again, if you don't have the nice jeweler's file, I really actually prefer an acrylic nail file like you do your nails with. That actually works great for me when I'm doing these ear wires. It just makes it smooth so it's not poking in your ear, especially if you're giving these away for gifts or selling them. It just makes it a lot nicer in your ear. Now you can take your flat nose and just come in and crick that end. Again, that helps it stay in your ear a little better. Oh, these are beautiful. I love these. Love it. Look at this. The variations you can get between different beads. This is a very versatile pattern, but it's also simple but striking. You know, like the color combinations you can get if you have different beads. The designs, I love this. This is just beautiful. I think I could wear this right now. It would look great with what I have on. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this second one here. So I'm gonna file. I think I accidentally got my fingernail in that. That's okay. That's why a nail file is a little bit easier because, you know, the soft, and you don't need a hard one. It just has to be like one of those soft, like white sides of files, nothing real rough. So look at that. I love this. I'm gonna put these in this little stand so you can see them. So look at this, just absolutely gorgeous. I love the sparkle that some beads, like whatever beads you're gonna use, are gonna bring so much liveliness into your piece, however you want that to be. It may sparkle, it may be more of a matte finish like this pearl. It's just whatever you wanna do with your beads, however you wanna take your design. You might even want the sparkle over with the spiral. It's just really whatever inspires you. The longer, again, we have our choice of the longer ear wire or the shorter one. They kind of look the same from this angle, but we actually have a shorter one over here. And I just love that you can do this however you want it to be, however you want it to look. I cannot wait to see what you design. Please share that with me. I am online right now, even though this is pre-recorded. I am online watching y'all through comments. I'm watching through comments. If you have any questions, I'm sticking around online for you. Even when this class is over, I will be online for a good 15 minutes past. So if you're, okay, well, how do I do this? Do you think this would work for this? Let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, you can find me on Weber's University on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but if you have any questions and you can't get through, I should be online for another 15 minutes. If you try this class later and you've realized you have more questions, hit me up. I will be happy to answer any questions you have. I miss you ladies all so much, and men in person like this. I just have so much fun with you guys, but I love that we get to come together online and do this together. And please let me know what you made. I hope y'all have had so much fun. And until next year, y'all go make, and I can't wait to see. Bye.